Alright, ladies and gentlemen, looks like today I'm going to work on a little little hatchet here. Looks in really good shape, and I think this was probably new, and the reason I say that is that looks factory, and yeah, it looks factory. It's just been sitting for a long time. This handle will take a crap load of linseed oil, but I can save the handle. I'm just going to take it apart. This thing was used, but it looked like it was used for, instead of plaster and lath or shake shingles, it was used, looks like concrete marks there. And somebody took a dent out of it there. And then on this end, I don't think it's beat up really bad. It's head's loose, of course, because it's just so dry. I think I'm going to just take it apart, clean it, and then I'm going to I'm just going to blue it. I'm going to make it look nice and blue it, I think. I don't need another one, but I think I bought this for $1. You know, a $1 bill. Even just like it is, I mean, I could probably linseed oil it, just let it soak, and set the hammer head, or set the head good. I could use it as is, but I want a good usable tool, and I want it clean, and I hate the rust. That rust, it sticks to everything. Lean this up against your britches and you got a rust spot against it. I mean, your tool belt, whatever. I keep my work area and myself clean. It just looks more professional, more presentable, and having a tool like that on your tool belt, that ain't professional. Around the house, just doing knick-knack stuff, it'd be all right, but I've got 2 of these at work, and I'm wearing the heck out of one of them. I may wind up replacing it. Anyways, that's another story. Let's work on getting this head off. All right, guys. This axe head says Ridgid, and it's a weird style Ridgid print on it. So 556 is what it says, number 556. Get a screwdriver. And when I say screwdriver, I mean a screwdriver that I can hit. It's a channel lock with a metal cap. Love this little screwdriver. Oh yeah, I can save that. It's good shape. They look like factory, that's for sure. Oh, and this, I'll publish this video, but this leg vise, oh yeah, perfect height. Should come out of there pretty easily. Slowly but surely. I'm not hitting it very hard. I don't want to damage, and I'm not, so. All right, let me get my other hammer. Bought a piece of round stock. I don't know what it goes to, wherever, but I'm trying to be careful here and save everything. Trying to reuse it all. Might be making more work for myself. Should have tried to dig the wood shim out, but that's all right. Yeah, see the grooves in the wood? I can come down on the shoulder a little bit more. Well, it's actually, you can feel the groove there where I guess factory was set. So I can set it a little lower and drop it down a little more. First things first, let me put this on the wire real quick so we can see the Ridgid part. I want to show you that real quick, and then I'll stick it in Vaporust. I hope you guys can see that Ridgid number 556 USA. That's pretty cool. Never seen a Ridgid hatchet before. I didn't even know they made them. Huh. Oh well. I'm going to stick it in Vaporust and go from there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I had to stop. Brother-in-law came by and PTO on the tractor was stuck in the open position. Wouldn't lock on. Anyways, fix that. I'm going to scrape this down with a razor blade like this. Once I get all the dirt and stuff scraped off of it, then I'm gonna go back over it with a 220 sandpaper, and then I'm gonna soak it overnight with some linseed oil. And I'm not really worried about it. I hadn't even took the shim out of it yet. And the reason being is that it's gonna take several good coatings of linseed oil to bring this thing back. And I've done it before and it'll work. I'm not worried. And like I said, I'm gonna set the head down probably another 1/4 inch. I have, right there's the point where the factory pivoted right there. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little hump there. So I can come down right there and then I can cut the top of it off. Anyways, that's my plan. Just scrape it, sand it, linseed oil overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll be able to work on the head. Kind of got behind today, but that's all right. Did a favor. Guys, see you in a little while. All right, I scraped it down real good, sanded it, and it's really smooth. It looks good. I can't get the black, and I don't know if that's stained or what, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and soak the linseed oil in it. Let it sit overnight. It'll probably take really good. I left the shim in there. Most of it anyways. I'll take it out. I don't need it. I got my own shim, but I'll let it swell up. I got this thing soaked. Now let this swell up, take overnight, and in the morning should be pretty dry, and then I'll clean the head first. I'm probably gonna blue that head, I think, that axe head, since it's Ridgid and it's kind of unique. All right, come back to it tomorrow. Yeah, put a little bit more on there. This thing's sloppy wet now. All right, we'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's overnight with all that linseed oil on it. Actually did pretty good. It's got, you can see some fine splits in the wood. They're starting to seal up. They're starting to swell up. I think a couple more good heavy coats and the hand will be just fine. I mean, I would be worried if you were, if this was a big axe and you were trying to use it heavy, then there might be a problem. But the way this is, I don't see a problem. I think what I'm going to do now, I took this out of the Rust-Oleum this morning, let it soak in some water and rinse off. The head is in really, really good shape. You can see where it's been hardened. So I think I'm just, and this end I thought was chipped. That's a grinding mark. Either a grinding wheel or a cutoff wheel. Somebody ground it right there. And it's got a, wait a minute here. It's got a 3, a C, I don't know. It's got some numbers right there. unknown what that stands for. Buddy of mine told me his grandpa had one and he thought it was mid-60s. So if this is that old, this thing is in really good shape for that age. Anyways, I am going to go back on the wire wheel it again. I am going to blue this, but I think this end I'm going to polish. I think that's what I'm going to do. Polish this end and blue the rest of it. It ought to look pretty nice. Don't see why it wouldn't. I'm going to sand that down just a little bit because I want that to sit. And there's the wood shim in this thing is huge. And the wood shim even goes all the way out to here. So I didn't even try to take all the shim out of it. I just I thought it was in pieces, but I think it broke. Well, there's part of it. Well, that's all. So I'm going to have my work cut out for me. It's weird how that shim is. Is there still a piece there, or is that cut? That's just where they started to cut. About 3/4. Yeah, this needs to be cut just a little bit more. I think I'm gonna cut that groove down a little bit more. I'm hoping I can stick this out of the axe somewhat. Boy, this thing's tight now. Wood's dry. Still needs more linseed oil on it. I'm gonna cut that down some more. Take a handsaw and cut it down about another 1/4 inch. All right, enough sitting there looking at it. I'm gonna go back on the wire wheel, clean this up, and then we'll do a little polishing. Alright, since I got it cleaned up kind of like I want, I'm going to go ahead and just file this blade down just a little bit. Well, I thought I had it tight. Guess not. Looks like the rust damaged it on the tip. See the pits. Hang on, let me get a stone. Shouldn't sharpen it that well. There's a nick in the blade right there. You can see it. Not a nick, it's a rust pit right there. See if the blade, hang on, trying to focus here. If you can see, and if I look closely enough, there's a spot there. I really need to take more off, don't I? Yeah, I can see it now. I might just leave it the way it is. If I do use this thing, it'll be more as a demolition hammer than it would be anything else. Because I will use it, I meant. Yeah, probably a demolition hammer is what I'll use it for. Breaking sheetrock and maybe cutting sheetrock with too. I've cut sheetrock with this before, or one of these. Oh well, let me go from here. Alright guys, got brand new bottle. This cold bluing. Anyways, since I got it, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna clean this head with some carb cleaner. Little bit of black come off. That's usually from your fingers, wire wheel, whatever debris that you can get on there. For those of you new, I use carb cleaner. You can use denatured alcohol, but I use carb cleaner just because I got a lot of it. That's what I use. This cold bluing really does work very well. If you want to protect your tools, it's a little more work than spray painting, but I think it's more durable than paint. I do coat some of my tools with truck bed liner material, usually pipe wrenches. So if you want to use something that's I think it's durable. It's just other viewers have said the same thing. Got to be worried about gasoline, because gasoline, especially when it's fresh, it makes it gum up. All right, let's blue it. It doesn't take much. I clean my brush. I use a brush. You can use a cotton swab. I found that I like the brush better. I can control it. I can control the amount and pinpoint exactly where I want the bluing to go. A little more detail. Where cotton swab, if you're just doing one great big item, that's fine. But something like this, I can do a real precise detail, what I want blued. Look how well this is taking color. Look at that. Look at the difference. I hope it's coming up on camera. You definitely can tell a difference in darkening. I'm probably just going to do one coat on this. I don't see where I'll need to do another coat. See why I use a brush? I can control exactly where I want the chemical to go. This is a very cheap, inexpensive way to protect your tools. Some of you out there, I mean, don't care, you just throw your tools in a bucket and do whatever, but I can't. I don't do that. I was taught tools are very expensive, very valuable, they make you money, so treat them well. The only time I throw my tools in a bucket is I'm taking just a few items to the roof or somewhere where I've got to carrying upstairs or up a ladder. If I can get away with it, either goes on a tool belt or in my pocket. I try not to go up, take my toolbox upstairs. Normally in the facility I work at, I have a tool cart. I have a couple of them, but I have one main one, and it goes wherever I go in the building. It goes with me because I never know what I need. People have an ability of not able to describe what they're wanting done, which is amazing. They want something fixed, but they're not sure. They don't know what's wrong with it. It's like, okay, whatever. If they push the start button and it doesn't start, then oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Stupid people make you look smart. All right. What's good about this stuff? It's non-rinse, so all you got to do is wipe it dry, and then immediately 4/0 steel wool, and you're good to go. I'm wiping it down too much, should just leave it alone, but trying to make sure I get all the wet. There we go. I know this is contaminated, I know a little bit, but I got an old wrench. I'm gonna try to reuse this, or use what's left of it. Add to it maybe. All right, now 4/0 steel wool, old piece I got left here. Now, just to show you, look at the discoloration, the flat look, the sheen on part of it. That's all it takes right there. See? And then, look at that. That's the old flat side. That's the side I haven't worked on. There you go. I hope that comes up on camera. Looks good. It'll look better. I'll put some 3-in-1 oil on it and then set it outside because it's really hot outside. So I think the oil evaporates off of the metal and leaves like a sheen. I like the look of it. It looks pretty good when it does that. You can put 2 or 3 coats. You can put as many coats, I guess, as you want on it, but it gets to a certain point, it won't take. So I'm just gonna, just 1 coat's all I'm gonna do on this. I don't see a need. Missed just a little bitty tiny spot right there. All right. Set that aside. Let's wipe this off. All right. Now, I'm just going to put some 3-in-1 oil on it. right, ladies and gentlemen. Oil's on there. Now I'm going to set it outside. It could probably use another coat. I think it'll look good. Once oil dries on it, give it a little sheen, and then what I need to do is I need to cut the head a little bit. I need to take my handsaw and cut that out a little bit more. All right, I'll do that, and then hopefully we can set it tonight. All right, guys, got the not completely set, but I'm gonna tap it on down. It's loose. I got it in there. I need to reset it. Got this rawhide mallet I'm gonna use. Oh yeah. See what I mean? I wanted to go past and set it in, and I got the wood to curl just a little bit. Now, what to do with my wood shim? Hang on. My shim, I'm gonna go ahead and linseed oil this shim. Well, hang on. I moved my stuff. Let me see where I did with linseed oil. Back. I saw Big Life Lion's Head Restoration do this, so thought I'd give it a try. I don't glue mine. I don't glue. The way I was taught when I first started in construction is that you don't glue them in, because on a job site you can reset or you can fix your hammerhead without drilling it out. Once you glue it in there, you're stuck. You're limited on what you can do. I just thought of something. Maybe it's all I got, so I'm gonna have to make it work. But if you drill it out and cut your handle and then drill it out, then you can't reuse the handle. Well, if you're able to take the handle off and reset it, and back in the day we used to use anything. If you couldn't get your metal shim out, we'd use small pieces of conduit, shape it into an oval, and beat them down in there. I mean, you gotta remember, you're making, you're getting paid by the hour to do a job done, and if you don't have your hammer or tools to do framing, you'll get in trouble. You know what I don't like about this? Shim ain't wide enough. I'm gonna have to fill it in. That stinks. Let me get another piece of shim and cut it. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Got that in there. Now I'm gonna cut it off, trim it up, and clean it up. I'll use the little bandsaw to clean it up. See how that works. All right, cut the end off. It's filled in really good. It's set good. Comfortable with it. The only thing I didn't like is the wedge wasn't completely filled long enough across there, so I took another small piece of wedge and filled that in. And I'm comfortable with it now. I'm stout. This has been setting for, what, a week and a half or so, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wax the bluing. Since sat outside, I oiled it. The wax really don't need to wax the bluing, but I'm here, I did it anyways. think I'm gonna go back and resharpen this thing, because the more I look at it, the more I can see those two pits in it. There's two little spots in it that I don't like. And I'll show you that here in a second. All right, it's a Ridgid, numbers 556. And a friend of mine thinks that he thought it was his dad, but it may have been his grandpa. Said he had one of these in the late 60s. He thought early 60s, but he says he can't remember. Anyways, he remembers seeing one, and he swore it was a Ridgid. And so I don't know how old it is. Can't find any information. There's a grind mark right there, and it's in really good shape, except for you can see the marking, the pitting, like right there. The rest of it, it's weird how it damaged just on one end, on one side there. The other side looks perfect, but I think this may have been setting in a liquid for a while on this side. That's the only water damage. It's the only pitting on it. The rest of it is in really good shape. Original handle, and I'm into 3, 4, 5 coats of linseed oil already in it, and so I'm going to keep coating it probably every day this week. Well, I'll just put more on it every day this week. I don't know how this video has turned out. I'm sorry. It's been a week since I've been able to get back to out in the shop, or more than a week. And the handle, I guess I put so much linseed oil, it's kind of sticky, yet it's smooth. I don't know how to describe it. It's not wet. And when I tried this earlier, kind of dry burrish. Anyways, it feels good, and you can see where the original sticker was. I did not stain it, nothing. All I did was linseed oil. I scraped it with a razor knife to get the old finish off, what was left of it, and then just linseed oil. You can see cracks and splits in the handle. I do not think that will affect the use. I probably won't use this much anyways. And the reason, I have some others that I like better. If I was going to use this, I would probably use it as a deconstruction hammer, something to tear walls down with. But I've got 2 of them to work. I thought I'd take this to work, but I probably won't. The bluing took really well. I like the way it turned out. And oiling the bluing and letting it sit outside in the sun, it actually darkens it. And there's a number here. It looks like C13 or C something 3. And when you look, here, let's do it this way. When you look at this silly thing, it looks like it's running downhill, but it's an illusion. It's nice and straight across there. It looks good. This thing feels really good. And I normally don't like straight handles, but I like it on this one. And yet I may still use this come fall. I'm going to have to cut some more wood for the pit because I do a lot of cooking outside, and I use these little hatchets like this to clean the limbs. When I say limbs, I'm cutting limbs, 8, 9 inch in diameter, and then there's a lot of little limbs off, and I use a hatchet just to clean up. But I use these quite a bit. I don't know, not bad for, I don't remember what I gave for this thing. I don't think it was much. I don't remember. I'll have to look back at the video, see if I can find out. But it's a Ridgid. And if you look real close, it's a Ridgid with the X, connecting the D and the G. So it's got some age to it. I don't know, not bad for, you know me, I don't buy anything unless it's a good deal, so I'm sure I got less than $5 in it. I'll have to go back and look at my video, see what I got in it. And it did seat well. Did seat well, filled well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, save the old handle, salvage that, clean this thing up, made it look good. It's not brand new. I mean, you can obviously tell it's not brand new, but it's usable. It's a good used tool. It's set. I didn't have to spend a whole lot of money. I mean, a new handle can run $21. So if you can save your old handles, it's worth it. Is it going to crack on me when I'm using it? I doubt it. I'm not going to try to fell a 3-foot diameter tree with this thing. It's not what it's designed for. I'm not going to be trying to break concrete with it. I mean, if you're trying to do something with that, then yeah, you're probably going to, something's going to give. But you use the tool what it's designed for, and most of the time it'll probably outlast you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me what you think. I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I'm sorry. I hope it's not a sucky video. But I had to finish this tool. I thought it would be a good tool to finish, and I think it's good. It's nice. It turns out great. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.